Most people think the more you spend on bread, the better it is, but that is a misconception. A $3 loaf and an $8 loaf may look different, but the real difference is marketing. In this video, we are breaking down 7 levels of supermarket bread, from everyday staples to sweet, indulgent loaves, and showing you exactly what you are paying for. Let's start with Level 1. Level 1, the everyday staple. Nature's Own butter bread, $3.50 to $4 for a 20-ounce loaf. This is the bread most American households grew up with. Soft, white, and forgiving, it makes a perfect sandwich, toasts without complaint, and disappears from the bag before you even notice. Here's what most people get wrong about this tier. They assume the word everyday means harmless. The honest truth is that Nature's Own butter bread is built on enriched white flour, which means the natural fiber and nutrients were stripped out during processing, and a handful of synthetic vitamins were added back in. On top of that, there is added sugar, keeping it soft and palatable. The result is a loaf that digests fast, spikes blood sugar, and does not keep you full for long. None of that makes it poison. It makes it a high-frequency food you should be eating with eyes open, not on autopilot. At $3.50 to $4 at Target, Walmart, or QFC, you're not paying for nutrition, you're paying for convenience and consistency. And for a lot of households, that's a completely valid trade-off. Best use is packed lunches, kids' sandwiches, or any situation where the bread is just a vehicle for what is inside it. Cheap and functional as Level 1 is, once you step up a few dollars, marketing starts to work harder, making you think you're getting healthier bread. That's where Level 2 comes in. Level 2, the wheat illusion. Home Pride Buttertop wheat, $3 to $5 for a 20-ounce loaf. This is where marketing earns its money. Wheat bread sounds healthier. It even has the word wheat in the name. It is a slightly darker shade of brown. For decades, that was enough to convince millions of shoppers they were making a better choice. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Home Pride Buttertop wheat leads with enriched flour, not whole wheat flour. The wheat content is real, but it is not primary. The ingredient list then adds high fructose corn syrup, honey, molasses, soybean oil, and multiple dough conditioners to keep the texture soft and the shelf life long. You are eating a bread that gestures at whole grains while delivering largely the same nutritional profile as a standard white loaf. Nutrition sites and dietitians have listed this bread specifically among the unhealthiest sliced breads on the market, not because it is dramatically worse than Level 1, but because it charges a premium on a health claim it cannot fully back up. At $3 to $5, depending on store and promotions, you are often paying more than Level 1 for less honesty. That is the real cost at this level. Best use. If you want the flavor of a softer wheat bread and are not focused on fiber or nutritional profile, this works fine. Just do not buy it believing it is a meaningful health upgrade. At Level 2, the wheat illusion gives you a slightly darker loaf, but the real jump comes with Level 3. Their packaging and branding create a sense of premium quality, even if nutrition has not improved much. Level 3, the premium supermarket brand, Pepperidge Farm, Farmhouse Hearty White, $3.75 to $4.25 for a 24-ounce loaf. Pepperidge Farm has a different feel to it. The packaging looks more considered. The name evokes stone mills, farmhouses, and craftsmanship. The bread itself is genuinely better, with thicker slices, a more satisfying bite, and a sense of substance that the first 2 levels do not deliver. Here is where things get interesting. Despite the premium positioning, dietitians have specifically called out Pepperidge Farm Farmhouse Hearty White as one of the unhealthiest breads available at supermarket level. The reason is in the numbers. Around 4 grams of added sugar and 230 milligrams of sodium per slice. If you are eating 2 slices for a sandwich, which is the entire point of the product, you are at 8 grams of added sugar and 460 milligrams of sodium before you have added a single ingredient. Eaten occasionally, this is a very good sandwich bread. Eaten daily over time, that sodium load is worth paying attention to, particularly for anyone managing blood pressure. The honest assessment at this level is this: you are getting better taste and better texture, but you are paying a premium that is not nutritional, it is experiential. At those prices at Walmart, Kroger, and Target, the value is real. Just know what you are actually buying. Best use: weekend sandwiches, toast with butter, anything where you want the bread to be part of the meal rather than just a holder for it. Level 3 is about taste and texture, but level 4 is where bread starts serving a specific purpose. Thick slices and extra surface area make this functional bread, not a health statement. Level 4, the Texas-sized exception. Sunbeam Texas Toast. Thick sliced, $2.50 to $3.80 for a 24-ounce loaf. Texas toast occupies its own category. It is not trying to be a health food. It is not pretending to be artisan. It is a thick-cut, white, enriched loaf designed for garlic bread, French toast, and maximum surface area when you are making a grilled sandwich. And it delivers on that promise completely. Here is what the marketing will not tell you. Sunbeam Texas Toast has appeared on multiple unhealthiest breads lists, specifically because of its sodium content, around 220 milligrams per slice, and its near total absence of fiber. It is a bread with one job: to be a satisfying vehicle for butter, eggs, or cheese. Nutritional density is not in the job description. At $2.50 to $3.80 at Kroger family stores, this is actually the best value proposition in the entire ranking, but only if you are buying it for the right application. The mistake people make at this level is using it as an everyday sandwich bread when it was designed for something very specific. Best uses are French toast, grilled cheese, and garlic bread. Use it for what it was built for, and it is outstanding. Use it as a daily sandwich loaf, and you are getting a lot of sodium for no particular reason. Once we leave functional bread behind, nostalgia takes over. Level 5 is iconic American bread, widely recognized, familiar, and inexpensive, but almost entirely processed. Level 5, the American icon. Wonder Classic white bread, $2.50 to $3.75 for a 20 to 24-ounce loaf. Wonder Bread is not just a product. It is a cultural artifact. It was one of the first commercially sliced breads in America. It fed generations. It has been referenced in films, in political speeches, in arguments about processed food, and in arguments about nostalgia. There is no bread more American than this one. Here is where bread culture gets a little strange. Wonder Bread is, by nearly every objective nutritional measure, the most aggressively processed loaf in this entire ranking. It uses refined and enriched flour, added sugar, and a long list of additives and preservatives. It has been repeatedly ranked as one of the unhealthiest store-bought breads available anywhere in the country. It has almost no fiber. It digests almost immediately. It contributes almost nothing to satiety. And yet, it remains one of the best-selling loaves in America. That is not an accident. Wonder Bread costs $2.50 to $3.75 at Walmart, Kroger, and Target, making it the most affordable loaf in this ranking alongside Level 4. For households operating on tight grocery budgets, Wonder Bread is a rational choice. It is not a nutrition decision. It is an economics decision, and that is a distinction worth making without judgment. The honest assessment, if budget is not the primary driver, is that there are better options at similar or only slightly higher price points. If budget is the driver, Wonder Bread does exactly what it promises. Best use. the most cost-efficient bread on this list for high-volume households. Level 5 is still a staple, but at level 6, sweetness enters the picture. Now we are looking at breads that are more like dessert, disguised as sandwich bread. Level 6, sweetbread territory, Pepperidge Farm Farmhouse, Sweet Hawaiian, $3 to $4 for a 22-ounce loaf. This is where the category shifts. Up to this point, we've been talking about bread, even if it was enriched and even if it had more sodium than ideal. Levels 1 through 5 were all variations on a familiar theme. Level 6 introduces a different relationship with sugar. Pepperidge Farm Farmhouse, Sweet Hawaiian brings about 6 grams of added sugar per slice and around 210 milligrams of sodium per slice on a base of enriched wheat flour. For context, a can of Coca-Cola has roughly 39 grams of sugar. 2 slices of this bread for a sandwich gets you to 12 grams before you've added a single topping. Nutrition sites have specifically called this loaf out for its sugar content. It's not positioned as a sweet bread in the way a brioche or dessert roll would be. It sits in the sandwich aisle next to the products you're comparing it against, but the nutritional profile is notably closer to a slightly restrained sweet roll than to a conventional loaf. At $3 to $4 at Target, H-E-B, and similar chains, you're paying a fair price for a genuinely pleasant product. The soft, faintly sweet texture is real, and for the right application, ham sandwiches, pulled pork, anything that benefits from a touch of sweetness in the bread, it works beautifully. The honest assessment: this is a specialist bread being sold as an all-purpose bread. Treat it like a specialist product and you'll love it. Best use: barbecue sandwiches, ham and Swiss, anything where a slightly sweet bread profile enhances the filling. Level 7, dessert bread. And finally, level 7 goes all in on indulgence. The loaf is smaller, sweeter, and more expensive. It's not about nutrition, it's about the experience. King's Hawaiian Sliced Hawaiian Sweetbread, $5.50 to $8.50 for a 16-ounce loaf. We have officially left the realm of bread and entered the world of experience. King's Hawaiian is not trying to be an everyday loaf. It knows exactly what it is. The packaging is bright. The price is higher, $5.50 to $8.50 for just 16 ounces, the smallest loaf in this ranking, and the most expensive per ounce by a significant margin. The nutritional profile reflects that positioning completely. 6 to 7 grams of sugar per slice, 100 to 120 calories per slice, low fiber, refined carbs throughout. Nutrition sites and food critics have consistently grouped King's Hawaiian with dessert-like breads. That is not an insult. It is a description. This is a bread that tastes sweet, feels indulgent, and belongs in a category defined by occasion rather than utility. The question at this level is never, is this nutritious? The answer to that is obvious. The question is it worth it for what it is? And the honest answer is yes, conditionally. King's Hawaiian is one of the most distinctive soft breads available in the American supermarket. The flavor profile is genuinely different from every other loaf in this ranking. It holds its structure well despite the sugar content. For a specific set of applications, sliders, French toast with powdered sugar, holiday brunch spreads, it is irreplaceable. At $5.50 to $8.50 depending on retailer, you are paying for something specific, a sensory experience that no other supermarket loaf can replicate. Whether that is worth the premium depends entirely on what you are making. Best use: sliders, special occasion French toast, brunch spreads. This is not a Monday morning sandwich loaf. Use it for what it actually is. That's it for the 7 levels of supermarket bread. If you learned something new, hit like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments which food category you want me to break down next.